it's just farmland, but they have this immense, like 200-foot wall. His name was Heist, but he got killed. And one of the last pieces he painted on the wall was there in Xenia. And it was maybe 3 years before the time I got there. And there's kids who come up and they go over it. However, every year whenever people go there, they use the same colors that he used and they fix it for him. Because that's the last thing that he has on this planet. And that's the respect aspect. And you know, one of the reasons why I say that that's missing is because kids take these shortcuts, they see it, and it's cool. You know, graffiti's awesome. Like, it's that simple, you know, and so kids want to do it, but they don't know the cultural aspect or the respect aspect, so they take these shortcuts and think, oh, I'm just going to go over this without knowing who that person is or what history they have. And that's, I feel a lot of that is getting lost, but I don't know, we call those people like in it for a minute, you know. Yeah. They'll get out.
I do have a kind of, I don't know if it's a touchy subject or not, but I'm curious if any of the three of you have ever been called like a sellout for being in gallery shows.
You guys all have the background to back up what you've done up to this point to be in a gallery.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone, you know, I wouldn't look at anybody twice. You know, I don't paint graffiti on canvas. It's just not my, I mean, for me, painting graffiti is walls, and it's something I like to do. It's something, you know what I mean? It's, you know, so to me, I'm not saying I would never do it, or you know what I'm saying? I've done stuff, I've never done like a gallery piece that I would sell in a gallery. I've never done like a graffiti piece. I've always done portrait stuff, which I use kind of like my graffiti mentality in doing it, but I personally just not into it. I wouldn't, I think I'm experienced enough to not blame anybody who does. You know, some of my idols, I mean, I love, Dondi is my idol. And Dondi did a lot of letter forms on canvases before he died, you know what I mean? So, you know, I wouldn't blame anybody for that. You know, you know, for example, I was going to say, like, me and Herbert are completely different kinds of graffiti artists. I think he's kind of more known as like a piecer, you know, more technical, which I do on, but I'm more known as a street bomber. You know, they say that I've painted every year for the last 30 years, you know, on the street. You know, I don't know anything about what they're talking about, but I'm saying, so when I meet a kid, like a 20-year-old kid who would normally be like, you know, what is this old guy talking about? You know, you're old and fat guy. What are you talking about? But if I go up to a kid and I go, hey, I'm ultra, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, you know, I was in Utrecht. We were about me and there's